Hey everyone, I'm Sanchita and I will be the host for this Kubernetes 1.31 weekly APAC release team meeting. Today is 3rd of July and we are in week 8 of the release cycle. Please be aware that this is a Kubernetes community meeting which falls under Kubernetes Code of Conduct, which can be summarized up to be nice and excellent to each other. Thank you. And this meeting is being recorded, which will be posted publicly. So be mindful what you say is being recorded. Moving to the open discussion, I don't find anything in the open discussion. Is there anything we would like to discuss before we move on to the team updates? If not, moving with the team updates, enhancements with Sriram.
Yeah, hey everyone. Our status is yellow because we've only reached out to 14 of the KEPs for code freeze, and 6 of them are tracked, and 8 of them are at risk for code freeze, and all the other remaining 44 KEPs are still being reached out to, and we plan to complete it by this week, the initial round of outreach for the code freeze. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you, Sriram. Is there any questions for enhancements team? If not, moving with the next team, release signal with Wendy.
Yep. So hi everyone. The status of the release signal team is now green. We have give a go signal for the alpha trade release yesterday, and nothing blocking at the moment. We will continue to monitor the master blocking and master informing test script. For the next step, we will send the second reminder for the course free around the 15th of July. And yeah, and everything is all good at the moment.
Thank you, Wendy. Is there any questions for release signal team? If not, moving with the next team, dogs with princess.
Hi everyone. The status of docs is currently green. So we initially had 4 enhancements that missed the doc PR deadline, but since this is a soft deadline, there's no exception. So they've all raised placeholder PRs now, and we also have done the branch sync for the week, and we've currently started working towards the next docs deadline. So that's the updates from docs.
Thank you, princess. Is there any questions for dogs team? If not, moving with the next team, release notes with Amit.
Hey folks, so currently we are working on 1.31 Alpha 2. It's close to being merged, but there is still a couple more things to fix up. There was a slight delay in the release notes due to one invalid YAML error being merged in, and the rebasing because of quite a few changes. Apart from that, 1.31 Alpha 3 is live, so we'll soon be creating a release notes draft for that. And Satyam is going to be working on this PR. We are also looking to automate some of the release note pain points, such as YAML errors, etc. So we are looking at, I am working on writing a YAML linting script in order to integrate that with the workflow. Caught up with the SIG release team in order to incorporate that within the pipelines. That's it from us.
Thank you, Amit. Thank you. I have a question for the release notes team. Can you please share the PR links of the Kubernetes website, please? Like
Sure.
the updated ones. Sure.
You mean the 1.31 Alpha 2?
Yes.
Yes. Give me a second. The link is right there on v131.0 -alpha 2. If you click on the blue highlighted, that takes you to the PR.
Yeah. So I was actually talking about the website PR. This is the draft one.
Sorry, I'm not completely clear. What do you mean by website PR?
So for release notes, we have two PRs. One is for the draft one that is being done for the release notes, and another one is for maintaining the release notes website. So I will
I
get
will
back
have
to
to get
you.
back to you. Yeah, I'll have to
Yes,
get back
yes.
to you on that one. I'm not aware of this.
No worries. I will ask uh, to Dina for that. No worries. Thank you, Amit. Any questions for release notes team? If not,
Maybe just a call out, like if it's not mentioned in the handbook, maybe something we could add in the handbook as well. The website PR.
Sounds good.
sure. Thank you, Priyanka. Uh, moving with the next team, comms with Abigail.
Hello, everyone. So our status right now is yellow, and we're working on the deprecations and removal blog. And there's a link to our draft HackMD right in the meeting notes. So the new publication date with the change of code freeze is going to be July 18th. So that will be a week before code freeze, but much closer than the original publication date, which is July 11th. And we're waiting to hear back from a few folks for content to add in to the deprecations blog into the draft. So that's sort of why we're a little bit yellow, is we're still waiting to get some content added in there. But we have had, I think 22 KEPs have opted into writing a blog post and created a placeholder PR. So that's really awesome. And the deadline for that is actually today. So we'll be, getting the final numbers and that all squared away today. So thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for comms team?
Abby, if you need help with the content part, like if somebody you are reaching out to and they are not responding, in general, any help related to filling content, just please let us know. We'll try to help as much as possible for this mid-cycle blog as well as the final release blog. I know this is hard work, so any help you need, just let us know.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving with the release branch management, Meha. I think she is not on the call. So the current status of release branch management is green, and the Kubernetes V1.31 Alpha 3 is live. And she has shared the announcement link in the meeting agenda. Any questions for release branch management? If not, moving with Emeritus Advisor Priyanka.
Hey again, everyone. Same updates, but with actual schedules. So, number one, our mid-cycle retro part one is scheduled for July 11, which is next week, a day after our next release team meeting. Please, please, please add your items to the retrospective document. We don't have much items right now, but we have a weeks long time. So anything you want to celebrate, anything you want to call out, anything you want improvements in, or any help in some areas, just please document them there. You don't really have to have solutions, but if we could log all the problems there or any pain points, that would be a great win for just following along in the discussion. So that's one item, retro part one scheduled for July 11. Second one is our mid-cycle shadow survey. That's also open. I sent out an email yesterday, so you should have the link in your emails. If not, I've also put a link to the form here. uh, I would highly encourage everyone to write down something there. Again, could be good things. If you don't have any problems, just mention there. You don't have any problems. If you have any problems, please let us know. It would be with me and the SIG release leads. First person would be just me looking at the responses. So, and Grace and Kat, obviously. So, uh, this would be mostly confidential. Any bigger analytics, statistics, if we'll share them outside, that would be anonymized or aggregated results. So I have not seen that happening anytime in the previous release. So I'm not sure how to do that. And there are no such plans depending on, will change that depending on what the responses we get during the survey. Survey will stay open till July 15th, 12 a.m. UTC, and a link is there to convert to your time zone. So I highly encourage again to fill the form and let us know of anything that's going on, how your release cycle is going on. Yeah, those are the two items from me. I know the retro part one meeting is just scheduled for the US time zone right now. I'm constantly looking at the retro agenda document. If I see more items logged in by, let's say, the next week before the release team meeting, I will make sure I schedule a back alternative time as well. But it's entirely depending on the amount of items we have in the agenda. So yeah, that's also on the cards to put up a APAC alternate. That's all from me. Open to questions.
I have a question, Priyanka. So,
Yes, go ahead.
so according to this schedule, we will have another retrospective meeting, part two, in the end of the release cycle. Is this correct?
Yes, there will be a part two, very sure. There might be a part three as well, depending on how much items we get in part two agenda and are we able to cover that. So, usually there are three retrospectives, two mid cycle, one end of the release cycle. The end of the release cycle is kind of optional depending on if we have any pending items from retro 2 to still discuss. But yes, there will be another one
Yeah.
after this.
Yep. So for about the survey, do we have another survey for the release team shadow in the end of the release circle?
Yeah, we there will be one at the end. We call that exit questionnaire, and
Yep.
basically documenting the experience of shadows. So yes, there will be another one
Yep.
at the end of
So
cycle.
yeah. So I just want to like ask you a little bit because you mentioned before, even though in the survey we still put our name and our email in the survey, but actually the result when you sharing it will be anonymous or like only you can be able to access into the result of the survey, or how you can make it confidential.
Um, so yes, the responses directly are visible to me and SIG release leads, as well as Kat and Grace as the news release team sub project leads. So these people, we don't usually put out the responses anywhere, but that was a precautionary disclaimer. Like if we get any statistics, any useful statistics that will help the broader SIG release community, we will
Mhm.
not post anybody's name. It would be just taking uh, numeral statistics from a few questions, for example, or let's say the health, the feeling of people, the shadows during a release cycle, how are they feeling, or maybe other statistics like shadows from different regions, those kind of statistics, or how happy or unhappy in general, the ratio of happy to unhappy, okayish. Those things I believe might be published, but I have never seen those statistics published any time in the previous release cycle. I
Mhm.
just called that out as a disclaimer that if that happens starting, let's say, from 131, nobody's name will be published outside. It would be a aggregated result from all of the responses we'll get from this survey, uh, and kind of numerals, like a graph statistics or a pie chart kind of thing.
Yeah.
will come out
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah. Thanks for the clarification, Priyanka.
Thank you for asking that. Yeah.
Priyanka, when you said that the retro call would also be scheduled to the APAC time zone, did you mean that if the agenda has enough items like added by people who are in the APAC region?
Not really. I know that some people just join the call for observing, maybe for just listening to the conversation. Right now, there are only items from Angelos. So I'm just looking for people to start adding items. I know people start adding items closer to when there is a date. So now there is a date, July 11. I will continuously monitor the document for this week and early next week. And if there is, let's say, an hour long or any item else other than Angelos, I will put up a APAC alternate meeting. I just don't want to put that right away if we don't have any agenda other than Angelos call. Yeah.
Uh,
But I know,
Because I don't remember this happening in the previous release cycles.
yeah, in previous release cycles, we never had a APAC alternative in general to the regular meetings. This cycle is the first time when we are trying that, and at least in my opinion, it's working well. People are joining both calls, and yeah, it's a suitable time for few of our shadows in the release cycle. So, like every other call that's having a APAC alternate, I do want to have a APAC alternate for retro call, but not with an empty agenda. So, if as as we start getting more items on the agenda, I'll put up a APAC alternate call as well.
So
uh,
thanks.
yeah, Priyanka, can I ask you a little bit like, for the retro document? So do you think like, for example, if my team individual member want to like input different review and feedback for the retrospective per member, or do you think like all of the member or in the team should sit down and then we can do the consolidated feedback and then we put in the retrospective docs as a whole team review, or each of member in my team can like input separately? Is this okay?
Yeah. So in past, this has worked as an individual member of the release team as well as people who are observing release team activities. So individual comments are very very much welcome. We have never tried a consolidated team thing. If you are planning to do that, that would also be good, but I think the current one is every person individually puts their item on the agenda. Those item does not have to be actionable. If you are just having some feeling and you want to call that out, just call that out on the document, and we can, like, collectively the group can come out with some action items, or at least have it in the backlog to
Yep.
keep observing. Yeah.
Yeah. So it means even though we are in the same team, but different member, we have different reviewing opinion for the release circle, is still okay, right? We don't need to like
Yes, yes.
consolidate in one direction.
No,
Okay.
not at all. If let's say there are four people in a certain release sub team and they have different feelings about a certain process, I and everyone actually would highly, highly appreciate all four different opinions,
Yeah.
so that we have different, maybe solutions or different ways of doing same things or different problems that each individual person is facing. We do want individual opinions. Yeah, we don't want consolidated opinions is okay if anyone is thinking of doing so, but I think retro is definitely your retrospective as an individual, how you feel about different things going on in the release team as an individual person, and that could be same to other people in your release in your sub team, or could be totally different. uh, Both are welcome and both are very very valuable. So
Yep. Okay, I see. Totally clear. Thank you so much, Priyanka.
thank you so much again for asking the questions. These are helpful.
Thank you, Priyanka. Moving with the release lead, Angelus.
Yep, most of the things I wanted to mention were already discussed with Priyanka. Please add your items in the retro. All feedback is welcome, and the feedback is supposed to make the process better, and improve the whole thing rather than target anyone or cause troubles. This is not the idea of these. So this is my first update. The second is that I don't have anything else right now for you. I just want to say that I love seeing the work that everyone is putting in. Please keep it up, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Angelus. Any questions for Angelus? If not, I don't find any updates from the SIG scalability. Yeah, that's all for today's meeting. Thank you, everyone. And is there anything we would like to discuss on the recording?
Yes, I would
Just
like to
one.
discuss.
Oh, yes, Bill, go
Go on,
ahead.
Priyanka, go on. Go on.
I just a small one. Sriram, in your updates, you mentioned that right now there are only 12 or 13 caps that we have followed up with. If you need any help, like more hands on the job, please let us know. Just that.
Yeah, I'll talk with my shadows, and like by the US meeting, I'll let if I need any help. But
Yeah.
mostly, I think it looks like people are like still just starting to reach out to their caps because the like since the deadline was also extended, I think uh,
Yeah.
like people are like still starting to reach out. So yeah, I'll talk with everyone and let you know.
Thank you. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Cool. So I was asking that I was checking the release timelines for the previous releases, and the pattern that I saw was that code freeze usually happened before the beta release cut. This time, the code freeze is happening after the beta release cut. So is there something that we should be concerned about? Because this time the beta 0 release cut is on 16th, and the code freeze is starting on 24th. So there's a long gap, but usually in previous releases, the beta 0 release can happen after the code freeze. So that's something that you
So
want to discuss.
John, thank you for the question. So I sort of brought this up when we updated the schedule. We could perhaps make this, I think the beta zero is too far away if we move beta zero right after code freeze. And then we have 1 week later the RC zero, then another week after that the RC one. So I guess what we could probably do is add the beta one after the code freeze, but that then would be 3 release cuts in 3 weeks time. So I'm not sure if it's
Now, if we move beta 0, then we will have to move RC 02 because RC 0 is on 30th July, and then beta 0 would be on 24th July. So just 6 days gap.
yeah, exactly. Priyanka.
I I don't know which previous release cycle we are talking about, but I can talk about 129, and I think a bit about 130 because I heard just went through some discussions lately. 129 code freeze was so early because of KubeCon happening in the middle of the cycle. So we moved code freeze earlier, and kind of 1 week after the code freeze was no work at all in the release cycle, and then all the release cuts also were scheduled according to that. Code freeze have been moving in past because of things happening during the release cycle, things like KubeCon, things like holidays. Um, Ideally, I think at least what I understand of code freeze, we need to have RC cuts shortly after code freeze. Beta cuts, if they happen after code freeze or do not happen, that's still fine. But RC0, like RC stars, they have to start after code freeze. And I think, I hope we are following that. If betas are before code freeze, I think we are fine with that.
Yeah, so right now it's 6 days after code freeze, we have the RC0. So I think it's, yeah, for me it felt, like a good enough time, because if there's any exceptions for 1 or 2 days, they will also be able to make the cut. And honestly, for me, I think RC0 is the thing that people start giving us a signal for. Like, if a beta is broken, not too many people are aware. If an RC is broken, then we get much more useful feedback from this. I think.
Yeah, I think same is my opinion. Code freeze means like it's a freeze, and then there are a lot of other restrictions also on merging, or maybe like taking back code from master KK master. So if we do betas before and find out some problems before code freeze, it's a good time to revert PRs and any code. But after code freeze is in place and we are cutting RCs, that means basically we are cutting snapshots of our final release, and that's how I think it is meant to happen from the plannings I know of earlier. Uh, in past, if any beta has happened after code freeze, that is because code freeze happened earlier than expected because of all of the things that were happening during release cycle. Um, yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything we would like to discuss before I stop the recording?
Just maybe on the same thing. I know Cat and Angelos discussed about it, creating a document on making it easy to come up with a release timeline. So there might be more clarifications on going forward for the next release cycles on how to maybe place the release cuts at different part of the release cycle, or how to place the code freeze and every other milestone. Yeah, maybe look for that document as well. And Vyom, if you have any inputs from release signal team for the release timeline, maybe Cat and Angelos would be the people to provide that feedback.
Yes, Betty.
Uh, yep. So Priyanka, I just want to so the final confirmation that if the code freeze deadline will be moved into 24th of July, and the rest of the release circle milestone like test free uh RC0, RC1 is everything we keep the same timeline, keep the same schedule, right?
Angelos, you want to take that?
Yes. Code freeze is moved to 24th, just 1 week away from test freeze. Everything else stays the same.
Okay. Yep. Noted.
Thank you. So I will be stopping the recording now.